Hey everyone, so today I'm back with a base game build and I'm really excited about this one because I don't often do base game builds. I usually like to use a lot of packs because I feel like now I have all of the packs, I'm pretty tempted to just use them all in everything. But I realize not a lot of other people have access to all the packs, or maybe you just don't play The Sims enough that you can warrant purchasing all of them. I, however, am not that person. I was so excited to get all the packs. I always wanted to get them all, even if I didn't like them, because I just love The Sims so much. It's such a fun game. But I want it to be fun for everyone else too, which is why I am creating some more base game builds and some more pack restricted builds. So that way, more people can use them and download them, and more people can have fun with The Sims like I do. I also feel like building base game, it kind of challenges me a little bit more because I don't have as many decorative items or as many usable items to make the build interesting. I kind of have to rely on the architecture or the landscaping or just kind of more skill than just kind of painting over the cracks with pretty items. And I really enjoy that part about building base game. I think it really challenges how I build, and I think it helps make me build better homes when I do use lots of packs. This home, it's pretty simple. It's a 2-bedroom family home. I ended up using some blue siding as well because I love creating little colourful homes. I think it looks so pretty and it's just a lot more interesting than a typical white or grey or brick home. And I was really happy with the final result of this. It is quite a small home. It doesn't actually have any stairs in it, which may be a little bit of a problem. But I did put a ladder in, and my thinking with this was that the Sims who live here, maybe it's more of like a mid-tier home, so I imagine that this is possibly the first home they've purchased. It's definitely not a starter home, but it could be the first home they afforded to purchase together. And I imagine their bedroom was probably originally downstairs where the kid's bedroom is, and maybe when they had a kid, they outgrew that and they had to move to the attic. So their parents' bedroom is up in the attic. It is accessible from the front area with a ladder because I did try to fit some stairs in, but it just was not working with the floor plan. They just didn't want to go in where I wanted them to, and it would have just made it a lot smaller than I would have liked. So I don't think there's anything wrong with using the ladders. I'm pretty happy that they're in the game now. I think it's definitely, The Sims 4 has come a long way since it was first released. Like, it wouldn't be possible to build something this small and make it look this nice with the original Sims 4 versions. I think platforms and ladders and all the little updates they've added along the way definitely help to create a more interesting home and make the homes look different. Because I know when you build with base game, after a while, things can just start to look the same and it can feel a little bit repetitive. So it is nice to have these things that help shake it up a little bit. So while I was building this, I did use quite a bit of clutter throughout to make the home feel a bit more filled out and a bit more lived in. I especially did this in the kitchen. I put some little shelves up on the blank wall that you can see now, and I put some above the fridge as well. And I didn't go overboard with the clutter, but I did add a few little items just to make it look a bit more interesting, especially because there's not very many kitchen items at all really in the game, especially in base game. So I think that really helped make it seem a little bit more interesting. Throughout the rest of the home, I kind of went for this like dark brown and a light blue theme with little blue accents everywhere. I think it just helped really tie the exterior of the home in with the interior, and I think it looked really pretty. I really liked the blue. It might be a little bit overboard for some people having a blue interior and exterior, but I was really happy with it and I really like how it looked. Anywho, with the kids' room, I also kept it pretty small and pretty simple. It's in general just a very simple home. I didn't try and go too overboard or make it too extravagant because it's probably more of a mid-tier home that your Sims, maybe they've just moved into it later on, which I think is fine. Anyway, we're nearly done with the lounge room and the main living area and moving on to the bathroom, which I also kept pretty basic. I just put a shower tub combo and I put a 3 wide sink with like a 3 wide bench in there, which may be a little bit of overkill, but I imagine that if you have laundry day, you'd probably swap out one of the counters for a washer and dryer combo, or maybe just a washing machine and chucked a washing line in the background, or not the background, in the backyard. And I think that could be really good. I think that's definitely a pro with base game building as well, is it allows people to fill it out with their own items, and it allows you to add your own packs to the game without feeling restricted by what packs the builder has. And I think that's really important. I think it's fun for everyone to be able to be involved. And I think it's really nice when people can add their own little bit of flair and their own touch to the game. I suppose if you don't like building though, you may not enjoy that, but I definitely would much rather build people's homes and come up with a story than play the game myself. I'm not a fan of playing. I really enjoyed playing in The Sims 3, but The Sims 4 is just, I think I just get bored because I think the building experience is just much more enjoyable than the actual playing experience, which I don't think is typically a bad thing. I think it just depends on what you prefer. No judgment here. On the porch and the backyard as well, I did use the Control F to get the little triangle tiles to make it seem a bit more realistic with how the boards run, so they don't all run in the same direction. They do meet up and follow a nice diagonal from the corner of the house to the corner of the deck, which I think looks really pretty. We're onto the backyard now, and I really struggled with the backyard. It was not working for me. I'm not a big fan of outdoor decorating. I never find a lot of joy in it. And I really struggled with this one for some reason. I kind of wanted an open backyard, and I wanted it to just feel a lot more open. I didn't want to close it off with a fence, but that wasn't really working for me. So I did eventually close it off with the white base game mission fence, I think it was, which worked really well because the gate that comes with that is a white and blue colour, which matched really nicely with the house. And I added some planters, and I think I put a chess table in the end as well, along with a massive pool for your Sims. So that way they do have some things they can do outside, and they can entertain out there. There's a barbecue on the deck for them to entertain their friends. And I added a little chair on the front porch. Obviously, you can always swap these out with different items if you want, depending on what packs you have. You could always, I put in the backyard slide if you really wanted to from backyard stuff. Maybe some bird feeders. I usually like putting them in my gardens. I think they look really pretty. And they're just a fun little interaction. Because I'm not very good at playing when I do play, I usually just cheat my Sims needs, so I do have time to do the fun things, like going and feeding birds in the bird feeder. I also really like the wind chimes that came with, I think also with backyard stuff. I think they're really pretty, and I usually put them in every house. I always put them inside for some reason as well, which is nice because they are battery powered, so they will work, or battery powered according to The Sims. I added some planters as well because I always think that's really important. It's always really nice to be able to grow your own fruits and veggies or your own flowers, and then either sell them or use them for your Sims and use them to cook. I just think that makes for a really fun time. I debated with the pool as well. I wanted to fit in some little lounge chairs, but I didn't want to shrink it too much. But I would have really liked to have the double lounge chairs. In the end, I just went for the one, and I put another little bench there. So they do have lots of places to sit because, the Sims love sitting, which is really nice. I put a bird bath in the front garden as well, and I really liked how the plants were a bit taller and they kind of looked like they'd grown up around it. I think that was really pretty. I'm just going through and building the kids' room now, which I kept pretty simple. I didn't try to go overboard too much, but I did kind of constrain their toys and things to their room. I just imagine because it's such a small home, their parents wouldn't really want their toys spread all through the lounge room or all out in the backyard. So I managed to fit in a desk. I think I shrunk one of the doll houses and put them in. There's a few soft toys around. I put that llama in there that I always forget about, and I find it every so often, and it's just such a cute item. And I don't know how I forget about it. I think because it's in the roofing category with like roof decorations, it's just such a random spot for it. But I did end up going through and put that in. I used some green walling because I love a feature wall. I'm a sucker for a feature wall. I usually try and put a feature wall in every room, which is a bit overboard, but nothing beats a good feature wall. So I did go and do that, and now we're on to the parents' room, which is also pretty simple. I didn't do too much because I imagine they spend a lot of their time downstairs. Especially, you wouldn't really want to spend all your time in an attic. It might get a bit hot up there, a bit stuffy. There is windows, so they could realistically open them and let some fresh air in. But I put a little TV up there because I imagine if you had to climb down a ladder to watch TV, sometimes you might not want to do that. So I gave them the choice, which I think is really fun. We're nearing the end of the build now. This should be out before Christmas. Day of Christmas. This should be out probably the day of Christmas. So I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoyed this build. If you want to download it, my gallery ID will be in the description. I hope you have a happy holiday, or just a good day in general if you don't celebrate Christmas. I hope you have a happy